And you know that's the right
it is
decision.
only when he
But you
utters the
actually don't
words,
know
I
what are
don't
the
know,
steps involved
that he becomes
which brought you to that
qualified to
conclusion.
know.
This is intuition.
Please understand,
This
the
energy
basic
of
condition for
intuition
spiritual
is needed
progress
when you are faced
is to know
with
very
a
clearly
situation
that you don't know.
with no precedent.
This is the first step
When
towards
you are
really
stuck with
knowing.
minimum data and you need to make decisions,
So ask
or
questions
you
and
have
make things
many
clear for
choices
yourself
and
and for others.
you are not able to decide,
Only
in
if you
such
ask questions,
situations, the
things
energy of
can be
intuitions
worked out
helps you.
in a more
See,
practical
understand.
way,
For example, you
in a
have
way more adaptable to your
5
life.
businesses in front of you. You feel everything is right, but you don't know which one to choose, which way to
See,
go to
some of
get wealth.
us, we always think
All looks good.
we may look like a fool if we ask some of
At
our
this time,
questions.
you need power of intuition
Swamiji tells us,
to
if
pick
we
the
ask
right
questions,
decision, to
we will
make the
only
right
look like
decision.
a fool. But if we don't ask questions, we will remain a fool.
And not only
Understand?
in such situations, if you
So, if
can
there
be
is
in the
any
zone
concept
of your being
that we don't agree
continuously,
with,
you will be totally present in every
we
moment.
need to ask questions and
And you will
clarify
give birth to
from
future
Swamiji,
moments
isn't it?
also in the same fashion. If you
There's
try to assimilate
there's
what
one more
I'm telling
question
you
one
now,
person asked.
if you can just spend a few
We are
minutes
looking to
sitting with
destroy
yourself
all our
and feel
negativity.
how your stored engrams are causing restlessness, havoc in you, and they're burdening you, suffocating you. If you can just see the truth in what I'm saying, you will slowly know the knack of how to get out of this cycle and move to a higher plane, higher frequency of your being. One more thing with intuition, it gives you the energy. See, understand, somebody asked me, I think yesterday, are we going to get into the technique? Or is this a discussion? Please, this is not a discussion. Today, we really got into the subject. We are talking about mind, how to deal with it, how our mind works. Understanding? It's very important to understand this. One more thing with intuition, it gives you the energy not only to make the decision, but also to execute what you have decided. When Swamiji says this to people, they always ask Swamiji, Swamiji, how do I find out whether I am having an intuition or I am just being intellectual? And they also tell Swamiji, Swamiji, I'm confused about whether it is intellect or intuition. Then what does Swamiji tell them? Be very clear. He says, if you are confused, it is only intellect. The very confusion shows that it is only intellect. When you have intuition, you will be so confident and brimming, overflowing with energy that there will be no room for confusion. Understand? So much clarity will be there. With intuition, the potential power which is inside your being is simply unleashed, unlocked. You open up and you'll just open up and it'll start expressing. You'll just execute it. That's all. If you read about scientists and CEOs who have been involved in major breakthroughs in their fields, again and again, they say their success came from something beyond their intellect. That they will always say that something gave them the energy or the guts to make those decisions. Each and every one of you, one of us, has the power of intuition in you. Let me ask you, how many of you have experienced at least once in your lives that when you're thinking of a particular person, the phone rings and that very same person is on the line? Or you enter a place and you feel you have been to the place before. or similar intuitive things. How many of you experienced this at least once in your life? Tell me. Thumbs up. Yes, true. More than 80% of the people will raise hands. You see, there are the moments of intuition that you have experienced accidentally in your lives. During these moments, you are accidentally in a meditative state. Understand, intuition happens in a meditative state. Please understand. You know what? Many people ask me, how long do you meditate? I'll start laughing. What will I tell them? Please understand, it is not meditation. It is meditative. The state. Even when you're watching television, you can be meditative. Even when you're making a cup of tea, you can be meditative. You don't have to close your eyes and meditation. 1 hour you meditate, later we'll do murder means how? Tell me. Once we do all these meditations and techniques, slowly we will realize the meditative state. So, accidentally, when we are in a meditative state, during these moments only, we are experiencing that intuition energy. In these moments, your being is trying to relate with you. But what do we do at that time? We just brush these things aside as coincidence and we ignore our being. We completely ignore the higher dimensions of our being. How can something that has happened to 80% of you be a coincidence? Tell me. Be very clear. These moments of intuition are clear signs of the latent power in you. If you recognize and encourage it, you can express the higher dimensions of your being. You know, once Swamiji had an opportunity to have a meal with Dr. Charles Towns, Nobel laureate in the field of laser and maser. Swamiji asked him, how did it happen? How were you able to do this? That person, the doctor, answered in a beautiful way. He said, I was just sitting in a park in Washington, D.C., and suddenly something happened in me. Suddenly, the conclusion was revealed to me. I immediately wrote down what I got. I then realized that I had a difficulty. I had the conclusion, but not the steps. I was not able to present it to anybody because I knew only the conclusion. I did not know the steps. Then, when I sat down, I was able to get the logical steps. This is what Charles Towns answered. So, not only with Charles Towns, even Albert Einstein, the famous scientist, says, whatever new understanding happened in me came through intuition, not through intellect. He says beautifully. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. So we have created a society that honors the servant, which has forgotten the gift. Whether we believe it or not, or accept it or not, there is something called intuition inside us. Before we enter into all energy centers, you have to know this. Very important understanding. Of course, even Einstein calls this a gift because he didn't know whether it could be consistently there or not. He was not sure when it would happen and whether it would happen or not. But yogis, the great Eastern mystics, again and again say that you can very well have it all the time. All these great scientists who discovered something in a certain meditative, intuitive time, it just got revealed to them. But they don't even know whether that intuition is going to be there all the time or not. But our yogis, rishis, they again and again they say that you can very well have it all the time. You don't have to think that intuition is a gift. You can actually work for it. That is the best thing. It can become a part of your life. When intuition happens beyond your intellect, your whole being is integrated. You are at your peak. Hey, you know what? I have to tell you. Just before the session was starting, I was thinking about integrity. See, I'm mad after integrity, okay? But many times I'm not integrated, whether towards time or that or this, whatever. What happened? I took a decision. Whenever I'm starting this session, some break or the other is coming. You don't know, I used to have at least 100, 200 participants in my classes. But because of this constant breaks, and nobody knows when I'm having a session or when I'm not having a session. And I'm unable to avoid it. Then I thought, hey, at any cost, I should not miss this session. Then what happened today? I had to go very, very far today. And evening 5 from 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time till 10 p.m. It's like havoc. It's like, what you say, back-to-back vehicles. You'll be stuck. Even 10 minutes distance, it will take more than 1 hour. So I was very far off. But I made sure I left there by 6:30 because I have to be here by 7:30. But I was doubtful. Hurray, what to do? And I left my phone somewhere. I had to go back. See, without my phone, I am like, how do I do all this Sangha work? Then even 1 hour, I can't afford without a phone. But then I did go back. I was giving priority to the session. I said, no, I had to reach there by 7:30. You won't believe this is a peak time. Without 2 hours time, I can't reach. But I was seeing on the road, no signal was stopping me. Nothing was stopping me. I was like, just going on, no stop. I was like, wow. The moment I decided integrity, look at this. Integrity will just overtake you and it will make it happen what you decided. Tomorrow also, I have to go to the same place. They were deciding on 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, whatever we were supposed to do. I very cleverly, what I did, I had my first priority, hey, I'll miss the session. So I literally changed 20 people's timings. I said, no, post lunch 2:30 we are doing. And I gave one great logical explanation why we have to do at 2:30 p.m. So that I made sure we'll finish everything by 5 so that I can be here by session. See, understand, when you decide on something, integrity, in every situation, that is the first thing you should remember. That is integrity. Understand? It will just happen, that's all. And luckily, even if one person does not agree for tomorrow, 2:30, then I am fixed. What to do? Luckily, everybody changed their timings. So I was thinking, wow, this is the taste of integrity. I was thinking while coming, on the road, and whole road was open like this for me. You don't know how much traffic is there. That's it. I reached here by 7:25 p.m. And I opened the screen, 7:25 p.m. Means in all situations, all timings, immediately when your mind first remembers that integrity, it will just happen. I'm telling you. So many obstacles today and tomorrow and, next 20 days. But I know somehow I'll make it happen. You understand? Means even the most life and death situation should be secondary. This should be a first priority. That should be integrity. Understanding? I suddenly remembered when Swamiji is talking about integrity, your whole being should be integrated. When intuition happens beyond your intellect, your whole being will be integrated. You are at your peak possibility. When you are at your peak, something happens. You may call it a revelation or an intuition, or you can call it anything you want. Yogis have again and again said that it is a science. If you can tune yourself to this energy of intuition, which is continuously available in your being, you can use this in your regular life. God, amazing things will happen to you. Amazing wealth will happen to you. Amazing health will happen to you. Intuition is the energy of your being. See, understand, all of us want health, good relationships, wealth. We are living in outer world. We have to deal with people, society. We want everything, right? So the real spirituality will deal with all these things. That is why I am today stressing on this, insisting on this, to make you understand about intuition. Intuition is the energy of your being. When this pure energy starts flowing out from the unconscious level, it will also heal you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Apart from healing, it reduces stress, worry, anxiety, and helps you to make decisions spontaneously. Spontaneity is Bhagavan. Spontaneity has nothing to do with the data that you collect. It is something to do with the way in which you process the data. The same data, the same information can be processed in many ways. Intuition is all about how you process the data and how you come to conclusions, not limited by your intellect. You should not be limited by your intellect. We can prepare ourselves, we can tune ourselves to this energy of intuition through techniques and methods. In future, in next 20 days, we'll go through so many techniques. These techniques are what we call as meditations. In the East, we use the word meditation to tune ourselves with the higher energy which is in our being and which continuously invites us to experience it. Whenever you find time, just sit with yourself and observe yourself. We are always ready to give sessions to others, but never to ourselves. What to do? We always give appointments to others, but never to ourselves. We never sit with ourselves. If you just sit with yourself, you could always see that some part of your being wants to express, wants to do something more, but you are never giving it a chance. You are never giving it time to that portion of your being. We are so caught up with our intellect. We think that our intellect is the ultimate. But again and again, yogis, rishis, our ancestors have proven that something more than intellect is possible. So, how is it possible? We will discuss tomorrow. So how is it possible? So what is there? We spoke about mind today. Tomorrow we'll speak about body and something more than intellect is possible. So how is it possible? We will discuss tomorrow. Okay? I have taken enough time, I think, today, a little more time. So please inform, I request everybody, please inform all